Have you ever caught yourself wondering if a married woman is giving you those kinds of signals? Maybe there's a spark in her eye, a lingering touch, or just something about the way she looks at you that makes your heart race. Your gut might be hinting at something deeper. Could she secretly want more? Before you make any moves or jump to conclusions, it's crucial to understand the clues. Nobody wants to misread the situation and create an embarrassing mistake that could ruin a friendship or worse. So, what are the undeniable signs she's into you? Stick around as we reveal 12 signs a married woman wants to sleep with you. You don't want to miss this. 1. Flirting. Flirting is one of the clearest and boldest signs that a married woman might be interested in you on a deeper, more intimate level. It often goes beyond harmless banter. This kind of flirting carries a noticeable undertone of desire. You might catch her dropping subtle yet suggestive comments layered with sexual innuendo, or even engaging in playful, slightly risque conversation that leaves little to the imagination. Pay attention to the way she makes eye contact. It's not your typical glance. Instead, she holds your gaze in a way that feels intense and electrifying, almost as though she's trying to communicate what words cannot. This prolonged, flirty eye contact might be accompanied by an alluring smile or a slight, knowing tilt of her head. She's drawing you in, making her attraction unapologetically clear without needing to say it outright. Her body language might also align with her words, creating a vivid picture of her interest. Laughing at your jokes a little too enthusiastically, leaning in close when she speaks to you, or casually finding reasons to break the touch barrier, all of these are subtle yet powerful signs she might want something more. If she combines this flirtatious behavior with hints of nervous excitement or daring confidence, it's a sign she's testing how far she can take things with you. She wants to spark a connection, and she wants you to notice it. Flirting from a married woman isn't always just for fun. It's often deliberate and charged with emotion. If she's clearly investing effort and energy into how she interacts with you, it's time to examine the situation more closely. Sign 2, she dresses provocatively just for you. All right, here's the second sign to watch out for. A married woman dressing provocatively in your presence. If her outfits seem bolder, sexier, or noticeably more revealing when she's with you, it's not just coincidence. There's intention behind that choice. Think about it. People dress for impact, and she's choosing to make one on you. Pay attention. Is this a pattern? Does she dress more conservatively when she's around other people, but suddenly turns up the heat when it's just the two of you? This shift in effort and style could be a clear signal she's trying to catch and keep your attention. Now, clothes aren't everything. Look closer. Has she started wearing that perfume you casually mentioned liking? Or outfits and colors you once complimented her on? She's remembering what you noticed, what you liked, and she's using that to draw you in. These small details are calculated. They mean she's putting thought into how she appears in your eyes. Also, it's not always about how short, tight, or revealing her outfits are. It's her confidence, the way she carries herself, and that added touch of flirtatiousness. Maybe it's a blouse slightly unbuttoned, a skirt just a little higher, or jewelry that sparkles when she leans in closer to you. All these things scream, notice me. The bottom line, if she's dressing to impress you and only you, it's more than fashion, it's desire. Keep your eyes open because this is one of the biggest signs that a married woman might have more than friendship on her mind. Sign 3, she hugs you often or whispers in your ear. Here's the third sign, and trust me, this one is a big deal. If a married woman is hugging you often or leaning in to whisper in your ear, she's crossing a line. Think about it. These actions go beyond casual friendliness. Hugs linger. Whispers are intimate. They're intentional. The ear isn't just any part of your body. It's highly sensitive. When she leans in close, her breath brushing against your ear, it's electric. That's not something people do without meaning. She's stepping into your personal space, boldly, confidently, and with purpose. This kind of proximity isn't accidental. Pay attention to her body language during those hugs. Are they quick, friendly pats, or does she hold you just a second too long? If her arms stay around you, if her head leans slightly closer, there's more behind that hug than a harmless gesture. The desire is written all over these moments. And whispers? Those are next level. She's not just choosing words, but how and where to say them. soft, low, and deliberately close to you. Those whispers aren't casual conversation. They're intimate and filled with undertones that are impossible to ignore. Ask yourself this: does she act this way with others? If she's not hugging everyone or whispering into every ear, it's a clear sign you're special to her. People don't invade intimate spaces unless there's attraction. And if she keeps gravitating toward you, it's not chance. These subtle yet telling actions speak volumes. They're small enough to seem innocent, but bold enough to stir something deeper. If you notice consistent hugs and whispers, she's not just teasing. She's sending you a signal, a magnetic pull fueled by attraction. Keep your senses sharp on this one. Sign 4, she keeps inviting you over. Here's the 4th sign, and it's one of the boldest. If a married woman is inviting you over, whether it's direct or subtle, it's a huge red flag. Invitations don't always come in obvious forms, but when they're consistent, they're undeniably meaningful. She's making moves to get closer to you. It might start small, inviting looks, lingering smiles, or casual asks to hang out when her husband isn't around. But then it escalates. She invites you to her place, and suddenly it's just the two of you. Pay attention to when and how these invites happen. Timing says it all. If she deliberately invites you over while her husband is away, that's no accident. She's creating opportunities, spaces where it's just the two of you, alone. Even more telling, if she gives you a tour of her home, making sure you see her bedroom. That move isn't random, it's deliberate. It's her way of planting thoughts, setting the tone. These invitations can feel innocent at first. Maybe she says she just wants to catch up or needs your help with something, but the environment she creates says otherwise. Dim lighting, soft music, or even the way she dresses, it all speaks volumes about her intentions. Step back and think, does she act like this with others or just you? Is she going out of her way to spend time with you, especially in private? If so, she's making her attraction clear. She's creating moments for something more to happen. Be cautious here. Once the boundary of an invitation to her space is crossed, the message couldn't be clearer. Her intent is no longer subtle. It's bold, unspoken, and impossible to ignore. Watch for this one. It's one of the clearest signs of all. Sign 5. Sexting is her first bold move. Here's the 5th sign, and it's impossible to ignore. Sexting. When a married woman starts sexting you, it's not just playful or casual anymore. This is often her first direct step toward revealing her true intentions. Texting is her safe playground to express what she's really feeling without face-to-face confrontation. At first, it might seem innocent. She sends a flirty message, or maybe it's a compliment that feels a little extra. Then it escalates. Her texts become bolder, hinting at desires she might not express out loud. People often find it easier to push boundaries from behind a screen, and she's likely no exception. Maybe she frames it as a joke or a harmless way to pass time, but as her words grow more daring, talking about your appearance, sharing intimate details, or inviting you to imagine what's on her mind, the subtext becomes clear. She's testing the waters, seeing how you'll react. One thing to watch out for is how she keeps the conversation private. Does she text you late at night when she knows she won't get caught? Does she want you to respond in the same way, turning up the heat with every reply? These moves are calculated, even if she plays it cool. Here's the kicker. If things get awkward or too much, she might claim it was all a misunderstanding or a joke, but don't be fooled. Sexting is not innocent. It's a calculated step that allows her to open the door to something more, all while keeping her escape route intact. When her texts go from casual to seductive, pay attention. It's not just wordplay, it's intention. Sexting is her way of removing any doubt about what's truly on her mind. Don't overlook this bold and unfiltered sign. Sign 6. She complains about her husband. A lot. This 6th sign, it's personal and revealing. If a married woman often complains about her husband to you, she's not just venting. She's opening a door. Think about it. Why would she confide in you instead of a close girlfriend? Because she's chosen you for a reason. She might say her husband doesn't understand her or isn't paying attention to her needs. But listen closely, especially when her complaints turn intimate. If she starts sharing details about their sex life or lack of it, that's a major signal Those are things most reserve for their best friends, not casual acquaintances. When she talks about him, notice the tone. Is it frustration, sadness, or even comparison? If she's implying you'd treat her better or subtly praising traits you have that he lacks, she's drawing lines between the man in her life and the one she wishes for. This isn't just about her airing frustrations, it's about her crafting an image, showing you the gaps in her marriage and maybe why she's interested in someone else filling them. She's craving validation, understanding, maybe even intimacy, and she's choosing you to provide it. Also, look at how vulnerable she gets. Sharing personal relationship struggles requires trust. By drawing you into her issues, she's not just talking. She's building a deeper connection. Sometimes these conversations might seem casual, but when she's repeatedly opening up to you, it's calculated. Would she detail her husband's flaws to a coworker, neighbor, or stranger? Probably not. If she's picking you as her confidant, it's no accident. When a woman seeks emotional closeness and chooses you to fill that role, there's likely more to her intentions. Complaining about her husband is just step one. Where she wants it to lead, that's the real question. Sign 7, intimate touches that cross the line. Here's the 7th sign, and it's hard to miss. Intimate touches. Most men brush off subtle contact, thinking she's married, so it's nothing. But when her touches become intentional and linger in those extra spots, it's not friendly. It's flirty. She's not just brushing past you accidentally. If she's placing her hand on your leg, neck, chest, or even lightly running her fingers along your arm, she's signaling something deeper. These are erogenous zones, the kind of areas people avoid unless there's attraction involved. Remember, casual touches don't linger or feel this. Think back. Have you found yourself feeling awkward or pausing to think, wait, what was that? That's the moment she's trying for, hoping her touch sparks something in you. It's a deliberate move meant to break the married barrier and blur boundaries. Touch is her way of expressing what she might not be saying out loud. A gentle brush of the hand or a playful tap can quickly evolve into something more intimate, something meant to ignite a connection. The difference lies in how often and where she's touching you. Want clarity? Simply watch how she interacts with others. Does she touch colleagues, friends, or acquaintances in the same way? If not, there's your answer. When those touches are reserved for you and only you, there's no coincidence. She's choosing physical closeness as her way of getting your attention. Intentional touches aren't just random acts. They're physical signals, sending a message loud and clear. If her touches feel intimate and deliberate, it's one of the strongest signs that she sees you as more than just a friend. Watch this one closely. It's her way of breaking barriers without saying a word. Sign 8, she talks about sex a lot. This 8th sign is as bold as it gets. If a married woman often brings up conversations about sex with you, she's letting her guard down in a way that's hard to ignore. She's not just ranting about her relationship, she's deliberately pulling you into a very personal space. Maybe she complains about the lack of sex in her marriage, or worse, how unsatisfying it is when it does happen. Women in long-term relationships, especially ones that feel stale, might feel the urge to seek attention elsewhere. If she's sharing this with you, she's not seeking just anyone's ear. She's choosing yours. Notice how specific she gets. Is she talking about what's missing or dropping hints about what she wants? Maybe she describes scenarios casually, but there's always an undertone. Discussing intimacy in detail shifts the dynamic. It's no longer just friendly chatter, it's laced with innuendo. Does she ask if you've experienced something similar, or does she hint at fantasies and how they remain unfulfilled? These aren't random conversations. She's laying the groundwork to gauge your reaction and spark a connection. Conversations about sex are rarely this open unless someone feels a certain comfort or trust. And when those conversations repeatedly include you, they're not accidental. This isn't something she'd discuss with just any friend. It's deeply personal. Think about it. If she truly wasn't interested, why would she consistently shift the topic toward intimacy? Why plant those seeds of curiosity in your mind? This isn't casual dialogue. It's calculated, intriguing, and hard to ignore. When she talks about sex, watch her tone, her eyes, and the way she leans in. She's testing boundaries with every word, pushing the limits of what's social and what's personal. Don't mistake this sign for anything less than intentional. Sign 9, lingering goodbye kisses. This 9th sign might leave you questioning everything. Those goodbye kisses. It seems innocent, right? a kiss on the cheek, until it lingers just a little too long. Suddenly, it doesn't feel like a friendly gesture anymore. It feels loaded, intentional, and more than a little confusing. If she's leaning in closer, her touch lasting longer than usual, or her lips lingering on your cheek, she's testing boundaries. It's subtle yet bold, a classic way to spark curiosity. That extra second is deliberate, leaving you wondering if there's more she's waiting for. These moments are packed with tension. You might catch her watching your reaction, almost like she's daring you to make the next move. It's never overt, always dancing on the razor edge of friendly and flirty, but deep down, you feel the difference, don't you? Think about how these moments make you feel. Awkward, unsure, intrigued. That's exactly what she's aiming for. Her lingering kiss is her way of planting the idea, testing to see if you'll take the bait. And here's the kicker. Does this happen often? Do parting moments seem almost theatrical with a closeness that feels out of place? If this behavior is reserved just for you and no one else, it's a giant red flag. Lingering kisses aren't just a polite goodbye. They're loaded gestures with silent intent. She's not saying it outright, but her actions scream louder than words. It's her way of asking, will you cross this line with me? Watch out for this. This is telling as it gets. Sign 10. She shares intimate personal details. Here's the 10th sign, and it's an eyebrow raiser. She shares deeply personal, intimate details about herself. If a married woman starts telling you things like, I just got a wax, or I bought new lingerie, she's opening a door she wouldn't normally. Ask yourself, why you? Why now? These types of details aren't casually shared. Think about it. Most people reserve these topics for close friends or their spouse. When she chooses you as her confidant, there's usually a reason. It's not just friendly oversharing. It's a deliberate way to capture your attention and spark your curiosity. This behavior often comes with a playful or suggestive tone. She might drop these details casually as if they're no big deal, but the intent behind them is anything but casual. She wants your mind to linger on her words. She's trying to shift the dynamic to something more personal, more intimate. Remember, married women don't usually discuss such private details unless they trust you or want you to see them differently. It's a subtle form of testing boundaries designed to see if you'll pick up on her signals. Now, think carefully. Does she only share these specifics with you? Does she leave you wondering why you're suddenly in this inner circle of knowledge? If these conversations are unique to your interactions, it's a clear indication of interest. When a woman shares personal details, especially those that hint at body image or intimacy, she's not just chatting. She's signaling comfort, trust, and maybe even attraction. Pay attention to how often this happens and what else comes with it. By sharing these moments, she's quietly asking for your attention, and maybe much more. Sign 11, she's curious about your relationships. Here's the 11th sign, and it's as telling as it gets. She's way too interested in your personal life, especially your relationships. It's not just friendly curiosity, it's deeper, more intense, and packed with hidden intent. Does she ask a lot of questions about who you're dating or seeing? Does she seem overly invested in your love life? Or more intriguingly, your sex life? If she's asking probing questions, it's not random. It's her way of trying to understand where you stand emotionally and if there's room for her. Think about how she initiates these conversations. Does she ask if you're happy in your current relationship? Does she dig into what you like, dislike, or even fantasize about? These questions are not casual. They're a window into her curiosity and possibly her intentions. Married women don't usually cross this boundary unless there's something they're hoping to learn. She's not chatting just to pass time. She's testing the waters. Maybe she's looking for a spark, something in your response to encourage her next move. Also, notice her reactions when you talk about other women. Does she look curious? Maybe even a little jealous? Does she steer the conversation back to how she compares or what you think of her? These are subtle signs, but they carry weight. Her deep interest in your relationships and sex life isn't just harmless chatter. It's often her way of seeing where she fits in, and if the door is open for something more. Watch her body language, her tone, and the questions she chooses to ask. It's all part of the bigger picture, and it speaks volumes. Hilda, sign 12. Dinner invitations that feel like dates. Here's the 12th and final sign, and it's subtle but powerful. Casual dinner invites that feel suspiciously like dates. If a married woman is asking you out for dinner instead of lunch, there's more at play than just friendly conversation. Dinner is intimate. It sets a different tone. Think about it. Lunches are quick, casual, and don't carry the same emotional weight, but dinners, they're slower, quieter, and filled with opportunities for deeper connection. If she's choosing dinner and the atmosphere feels cozy, romantic even, ask yourself, why dinner? Why not coffee or a quick grab-and-go meal? Pay attention to her behavior during these meetups. Does she dress up more than usual? Is there extra attention on how she looks? Does the conversation steer towards things that feel more personal or even flirtatious? These aren't random details. They signal intent, and she's likely testing how you respond. The timing is also key. Dinner happens at the end of the day, leaving a natural opportunity for more. Does she suggest a place with a romantic setting? Does she linger longer after the meal? These casual dinner invitations aren't nearly as casual as they might seem. And if the whole experience feels like a pseudo-date, if it looks like a date and feels like a date, there's a good chance, at least in her mind, it is one. She's building the chemistry, creating moments that feel intimate, and leaving you wondering what comes next. Watch for other signs during these dinners. Body language, lingering eye contact, or compliments that go a step too far, they complete the bigger picture. When dinners feel more like dates, chances are that's exactly what she wants them to be.